the unspoken terror, Blackbeard, King of the Caribbean. Forget the jolly pirates of fiction, the ones with parrots and catchy songs. Our story isn't about adventure, it's about absolute terror. It's about a man who didn't just steal gold, he stole something far more precious, dominion over the very seas. His name was Edward Teach, but the world knew him by another far more menacing name, Blackbeard, the pirate who was a living nightmare, an inescapable legend. Blackbeard was no mere buccaneer, he was an artist of fear. Imagine the scene, a peaceful merchant vessel, sails full, gliding across the turquoise waters of the Caribbean. Then, from the shimmering heat haze, a behemoth emerges. It's not just any ship, it's the Queen Anne's Revenge, a floating fortress armed with 40 cannons, a behemoth of destruction. But it wasn't the ship that sent shivers down spines. It was the man who commanded it. Blackbeard was a towering figure, cloaked in a heavy black coat, wearing multiple hats and crisscrossed with belts bristling with 6 loaded pistols. Yet, the true source of his dread was his beard. A thick, long, coal-black mane, into which he would meticulously braid slow-burning fuses. As he stalked the deck, ready to board a hapless victim, tendrils of smoke would wreathe his face, making him appear like a demon rising from the very pits of hell. The sheer psychological impact was devastating. In most encounters, the mere sight of him, wreathed in smoke and bristling with weapons, was enough. Ships surrendered without a single shot fired, their crews paralyzed by fear. Blackbeard wasn't content to merely plunder. He yearned for something more profound. He desired to be seen as a king, a ruler of the waves. In 1718, he launched his grandest, most audacious act, the siege of Charleston, South Carolina. This wasn't some backwater village. It was a vital port, a jewel in the crown of British colonial power. He deployed his formidable fleet, forming an impenetrable blockade around the harbor, cutting off all ingress and egress. Then came his astonishing demand. Not gold, not jewels, but a medical chest filled with vital medicines. To ensure compliance, he seized prominent citizens as hostages, guaranteeing the governor's urgent attention. For days, Charleston was suffocated, humiliated. Finally, the city capitulated, sending the requested supplies. Blackbeard, having proven his absolute dominance, sailed away, leaving a gaping wound in the pride of the British Empire. He had demonstrated that he was a force utterly beyond their control. Such an affront could not be tolerated. The governor of Virginia dispatched a determined young naval lieutenant, Robert Maynard, with a clear directive: hunt down Blackbeard and bring him to justice. In November 1718, Maynard's forces finally cornered Blackbeard's vessel in Ocracoke Inlet, North Carolina. As dawn broke, Maynard cautiously approached, but Blackbeard, ever the predator, was ready. Maynard, however, was cunning. He hid the bulk of his crew below deck, making his ship appear lightly manned. When Blackbeard's pirates swarmed aboard, Maynard's hidden forces burst forth, and the battle was joined. It was a furious, blood-soaked melee. Maynard himself confronted Blackbeard in a savage sword fight. Blackbeard was hit by multiple musket balls, yet the legend insists he fought on, his arm gushing blood. Even after reportedly sustaining 20 stab wounds and 5 gunshot wounds, he raged like a wounded beast, refusing to fall. In a final desperate act, one of Maynard's sailors delivered a crippling blow to Blackbeard's neck, finally bringing the Titan down. His last defiant act was a futile attempt to strike Maynard before his life ebbed away. Blackbeard was dead, but his legend was not. His story, a tapestry woven with terror and defiance, became immortal. He was more than a pirate. He was a living embodiment of fear, a man who ruled the seas not with brute force alone, but with the terrifying power of his name and reputation. He left behind a legacy of chilling tales that would resonate through the centuries, forever etched into the annals of maritime history.